All right, welcome to another episode of the GrandStand Podcast after so long. My name is Kavinka, joined by Shavin and Abhishek, as always, and as for the first
In
time
case you
this year as
forgot our
well.
names, in case
Yeah,
you
yeah,
forgot our
yeah,
names.
exactly. This time we are going to talk all about Premier League, but not in the sense that like what's happening in the title race, but what might happen or what will happen after this season. As much as Shavin wants to talk about the title race and the fact that Arsenal are going to win the Champions League and the Premier League, we're going to be focusing
Of
on
course.
what to expect on the front lines of like managers, and also the question that every Liverpool fan, including myself, wants to know: who's going to replace Mohamed Salah? So let's get into it. First of all, I think we agreed to talk about Mohamed Salah and the fact that he's leaving.
I thought the
Now,
question every Liverpool fan has is when is Arne Slot leaving?
where's Ansat leaving? The reason why
It
I didn't want to make this an Arne slot leaving question, or rather
Yeah,
add that question into Arne slot, is
yeah,
because the club is persistent on the fact that
yeah,
Arne Slot will be the manager next season. Like, give him a summer.
yeah,
You can do whatever you want. Just because I understand, right? I understand the fact that Diogo Jota died, and then like the whole summer just went into disarray. So okay, let's give the benefit of the doubt. But after January, like what has he been doing? In fact, like after the Man United loss at Anfield, what has he been doing? So anyway, the club is very they trust Arne Slot. That's no question. That's the club. Do the fans trust him? Probably not. Like and you heard it yesterday when Rio Ongumoa, apparently because of a cramp only he was taken off. But once he was taken off, the player that was doing the most in that match, the crowd booed versus Chelsea. And that was a bit of a disapproval, and that was the first time that it has happened in like 16 years as well. So will he go? Will he not go? That's, I think, the end of the season uh, will bring us that answer. But the better question is Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is leaving. Let's be honest here. He's leaving just because of he just
yeah.
doesn't like the way slots put him up against the wall and just made him the scapegoat for a lot of things, which I personally think that isn't his fault, right? Like you can see how a player like him, he respects the club and is adored by fans and just really loves the club. Uh, but there's no turning back on his decision. There's no convincing him that because he is the best player to play in a Liverpool t-shirt in the past 10 years, you got to stay. So, who is going to replace someone who has given almost 200 goals and 93 assists in a Reds shirt? As non-Liverpool fans, who do y'all think? Like realistic answers. Don't go Anthony from Real Betis. No, that's not what I'm looking for. But like actually, who?
I mean, the thing with Salah leaving is we had this discussion like off before this podcast, we had this discussion casually. I think when we sort of met up to watch the Arsenal City game, but it's gonna be before we get to the players. I think it's gonna be such a like a psychological thing for opponents as well because um, like you said, like he's been Liverpool's best player for the last 10 years, and you can say he's probably been the. You could, as much as I don't want to admit it, you can argue that he's been the best player in the Premier League even for the last like maybe 6, 7, 8 years, right? Along with maybe you can say I don't know, maybe you
De
can put
Bruyne.
Kevin De Bruyne, maybe Haaland over the last few seasons, but he's been a menace for like opposing teams. Like he scored against City, against Arsenal, he scored against all like the big teams. He scored insane goals. So I think psychologically not having him is going to be really tough for Liverpool. And then I think, like we've discussed, I think it's either it's very difficult for them. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to get like a like for like replacement. So it's either going to they are going to have to do like a system change and get like more, maybe more output from like midfielders. But like a like for like replacement, I think we'll get to the players, but it's going to be quite tough. What do you think, Abhishek?
No, agreed, agreed. I mean, as much as we like to banter and stuff when we talk about
Yeah,
Liverpool and their season, especially this year, and how Liverpool fans have turned on the manager. And
yeah,
don't be surprised if Slot does well next year, and he becomes the greatest manager Liverpool has ever had. You know how?
yes,
No, but
100.
leaving Slot aside, talking about Salah, I think just an incredible player. The player that came back to the Premier League after not having it his way the first time around. Not many people would have given him a chance to do what he has done in this second attempt at the Premier League after coming. I think he came from Roma, if I'm not mistaken, right, to Liverpool.
Yeah,
Um,
so 35
was it
million.
Roma or Fiorentina? Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So the fact that he came back and he transformed that Liverpool side and was part of that very smart front trio with Firmino and Mane, and the way they played, that type of football according to what Klopp wanted, and transformed that Liverpool side uh, painfully, I might add, because Barcelona also had one very tough night, and he was a part of that. And they went on to win the Champions League, won the league, and become, a dominant force once again in the top flight of English football. They came close on multiple occasions to win the Premier League again. They went toe to toe with a brilliant Man City side, and Salah was a massive part of that. He won the Golden Boot.
yeah.
He was, an X factor for that Liverpool team. So it's a massive loss. I think a great player and also a great human being. The way he carries himself and all that. So it's going to be a massive loss for Liverpool. These kind of players, they are your X factor. They are the ones who win games for you. And it's never easy. It's always tough. No matter how much you would want to say, yes, we got to move on. It's true. You have to find a way forward, but it's always tough to kind of replace these sort of players. But there are options, like we said, we'll probably get into it as to who can replace Salah. Replacing Salah, I don't think that's the right term because it's never going to be easy, but can take up the baton from Salah and go forward.
So we compiled. I love how everyone's just like, oh, Salah's leaving. Shit, like thank goodness he's leaving and all this thing, which I totally understand. Like we banter and say,
No,
oh,
I mean, for
um,
me personally, it's not a thank goodness because
yeah,
for me, I have no, I have nothing,
yeah,
I have
of course,
no,
no affiliations. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. So, but I think it's a massive miss,
I'm really happy he's
for
leaving.
sure. Yeah, fair enough,
yeah,
fair
no,
enough.
no, no, and like you can't shy away from the fact that he has been Liverpool's arguably the best player, along with Van Dijk and
Yeah,
Alisson, the most important players. Like if you take dressing room, like what Shavin said, psychologically it will make much more of a difference. But like
yeah,
inside, because like I was at Anfield earlier this year, in actually just last month, and you could feel like when he was playing, like it's like somebody asked just maybe a row in front of me, like how do we replace this guy? Because he was doing skills and like moves on that right hand side. So you're going to replace someone like that? Like how? So who are the players that will be replacing Salah potentially?
I think
Uh, yeah.
since you mentioned Van Dijk, I think psychologically Van Dijk staying is going to be really good for the rest of the Premier
Oh
League
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah. 100%.
Yeah, coming
I
up
would
against
love,
Van Dijk,
I would going up against Van Dijk. I think at the moment is I would love for Arsenal to play Van Dijk because
Shavin is
having
talking
watched
about
him
himself,
against like
huh? Shavin would go up against Van Dijk.
I mean,
I would go. I think I would have it because I remember watching. To be fair, I don't watch too much Liverpool games, but the game I watched against Everton, I know he scored, but as he's defending, oh my God, it's
bro,
That's another
yeah,
really
but I
conversation to be
used
had. How Van Dijk went from arguably the best centre back, potentially the
so
world
it's
has
a
ever
decline.
seen, to
So obviously there
to
is a decline, man. It's like, you can't
no,
stay up there for
not
so
according to
long.
Liverpool fans. I think Liverpool fans said
it's
that
not
he
like
would.
a
No, I mean,
steady decline. It's just like
yeah,
just
are
completely.
you telling me? Are you telling me? Okay, maybe bar Arsenal, maybe. Are you telling me, Abhishek, you won't take Van Dijk into your team
Of
for
course not.
free, England?
Of
Why would I
course
take
not.
Van Dijk at this point? Why would I take Van Dijk
You
at this?
wouldn't.
If it was like a few years ago,
You're saying
uh,
that Lord Araho is much better.
I'm not saying it's much better, but it's just the stage of this career. I mean, depends on the fee. If he comes on a fee, maybe, but not.
Hmm.
I'm not going to break the take out a bank check and pay a massive amount. The amount Liverpool's asking for Van Dijk. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's still a top
Yeah.
defender, yeah, for sure. But I don't know whether will I break the record transfer fee to get Van Dijk? Probably not.
So yeah.
I think
Yeah.
you can go for someone younger. I mean, just because of his age and stuff like that. If he comes on a free, why not? Maybe. You never know. I mean, he can still find his form because I mean, jokes aside, he's still a top defender. But
Yeah.
depends. I'm not going to break the bank, just to buy him. Anyway, back to Salah because yeah, let's
Back to
talk about
Salah.
his
Salah.
Um,
replacements.
should with Salah's replacements, there is no doubt that Olise would be comparable to Salah. Like if you say Salah Premier League, say this season, okay, even though a lot of people have written Salah off this season and say he's washed and stuff, his numbers prove that that is a good season for a normal Premier League winger. I think he's got what 10 goals, 9 goals or 10 goals, and 5 assists. I mean, if you look at say a Spurs player or a Chelsea player, that is a standard Spurs Chelsea season for a winger. So
Yeah.
who is who are the replacements? We have a few of them. Number one, no doubt. I mean, Elise, right?
Yeah.
With the season he's having, just checked 50 games, or at the point he was at 50 games, 20 goals, 30 assists, including some dazzling moments which obviously don't count for goals. Like he's such a good player to watch, and he's prem proven as well. So he's done it in the Prem. He's doing it in the Champions League. He's doing it in the Bundesliga. Even yesterday, he scored a brilliant goal against Wolfsburg. So you have someone like that, but will Bayern sell him? Probably not.
Probably
Actually,
not.
I don't think he's even on the market for that rate. If he
And
was going,
the
that's
question I
probably like
would
a
say, sorry to
120
interrupt,
million
Kavinka,
player.
but
Yeah,
also the question is, would he want to leave? I mean, with all respect to Liverpool, I think
yeah,
legacy and stuff, Liverpool is up there. But playing for a Bayern team that has what it takes to go all the way in the Champions League and stuff like that. I mean, the only
yeah.
question would be is whether he wants to come back and win the Premier League. That question is there probably with Kane as well. But yeah, I would just say right now he's probably at a better position at Bayern to win the Champions League than at Liverpool. I don't know if you agree, Shavin, but
Yeah.
I would say that team
To
is a
be
bit
honest,
has a much better chance.
I think Abhishek
To
muted
be
himself.
honest,
Or did
yeah.
someone?
No, no, no.
To be
Yeah,
honest,
I
No,
muted
no. He
myself to
stopped
let you
talking.
speak.
To let him speak. Yeah.
wow. No, to be honest, as much as I hate to admit it, I think I can see him coming to Liverpool. Because like okay, Florian Wirtz has been disastrous at Liverpool in his first season, but like the signing before he joined, like the hype and everything, it was pretty crazy, like to see Wirtz come. So I could see Olise come to Liverpool because if he comes to the Premier League, if Olise was to come to the Premier League, like who could afford him? Like he maybe Chelsea, Liverpool, City probably. I don't know if it doesn't seem like a signing Arteta would make, to be honest. So I personally could see him come to Liverpool. Whether he will, whether he even wants to, I don't know. But in terms of output, I think, like you mentioned, he would probably be like the most, in terms of goals and assists, the most like for like replacement you could get.
Life for life replacement.
But I mean,
Yeah.
apart from him, like yeah, like I've seen people like we were discussing earlier, like Jared Bowen. Like I mean, I can't see how Bowen would be. He doesn't. It seems like Liverpool
Downgrade,
selling
bro.
Suarez and getting like Ricky
Yeah.
Lambert. Was it Ricky Lambert that you're signed?
I mean, that happened.
It just
Yes,
seems
that
like that.
happened.
Yeah,
Balotelli. Balotelli.
No, Balotelli, but then Balotelli is good,
Balotelli.
so they were
yeah,
expecting.
Yeah. But no, yeah, yeah. No, I totally understand. Because when you try to buy someone as a Salah replacement, you're talking about the Salah of
yeah,
24, 25. That's it, bro. That
yeah,
season, 18 assists and 29 goals. Unbelievable season, right?
No, I
Plus, you're
think you're.
talking about
I
it.
mean, not just that season. You're just talking about Salah as a
Yeah,
whole.
that
Bar this season, I would
that's
say,
what I
because
was that's
every
what I was
season he
getting.
was up there. Every season
Yeah,
he was up there. I mean, you're not going to look at the
exactly.
Yeah.
25, 26 season and say this is what we want from you for sure. I mean, no one's
Yeah,
going to sign a player like that. I think
no, of
just
course. Yeah.
match
So that
match what
that
he did.
is no, no, that is what I was getting into. So I was getting into the fact that, like, yes, that was his prolific season, but then you have like maybe three prolific seasons like that. He had his 21-22 season where he reached the Champions League final,
Yeah.
and he had his record-breaking season when his first season in 17-18. So out of this 9 seasons, 3 seasons, and his worst ever, barring this season, his worst ever was 19 goals, bro. 19 goals as his worst ever.
Yeah.
Now, like, 19 goals can get you third place in the Premier League Golden Boot race. So, yes, okay, you're looking for an Olise type, but Olise is not there. Who else can they go for? There have been talks about Bradley Barcola because he's not getting used as much as he would have liked to in the PSG setup right now with Desiree Doué coming back, and also he got an injury I think in around January or February, and that has affected his return into the team. So it looks like for now Desiree Doué is 21 year old. Desiree Doué is going to be starter for that side. Um, well, right hand side instead of Barcola. And then you have Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Gonzalo Ramos. Like all these players are their star players. But then Barcola, he's going to start on the bench always. So he's looking for a place to come. And I mean, Liverpool is probably a destination. What will PSG sell at? Liverpool are and have said that they will be reluctant on getting players above, the 80 million mark. They're not going to have a summer like that. That summer, oh, sure. Okay, we'll wait for Abhishek. We'll wait for Shavin to come back. But that summer, last summer, incredible. And I don't think that's going to be replicated for quite a while. Um, but there has been talks about Bakula. There have been talks about oh, hello,
I'm back.
Kavin. Oh,
Oh, you missed
okay,
missed it. Okay.
I just got
I mean,
okay.
I just
for a
got a call
moment,
from.
Kavinka was not in the center, and I thought that would be the end of my time on the podcast.
No, no. So like I was getting, Bradley Barcola is one, Olise is one, Yan Diomande. He is. I watched him a bit. The way he plays is a much more controlled. You know how Olise, Barcola, like these players are, direct, sort of like chaos sort of players, like Kvaratskhelia, for example. Like you
Yeah.
see how very chaotic he is, right? Diomande, I would actually. I saw a few clips of him. He plays a bit like Bukayo Saka. Not chaotic, but like very controlled, takes his time, and is very clinical on his day. That's the type of player that Yan Diomande is. And Yan Diomande has been linked with Liverpool. He's 19 years old. On the output charts, like I saw this one chart, the output chart, Elise is number one, Yan Diomande is number two as wingers. So Diomande is another player. There was also someone from La Liga, someone else, a Moroccan. I can't remember his name. It just came to mind. Otherwise, obviously, I would have researched on it. But he's another player. Rio Ngumoa has been said to replace Salah on that wing. I just feel like he's still a bit too raw, and we are not going to expect a 20 goal season from a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, unless your name is Lamine Yamal. So you just have to stick with those three options. Liverpool, if you can surprise the fans and go for another 20 million, 30 million signing, that would wow the Premier League for another 8 seasons, 9 seasons. Go ahead. But for now, those three are the names on the list. Probably not probably not Olise, but those two, Yan Diomande and Bradley Barcola.
But see, I have a question there, right? Now, talking about this whole record-breaking season and all that happened last season, right? Now, clearly it hasn't worked out, but it doesn't mean that these players that have come in are, duds. They are,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
of
agree.
players
course,
of high
of
quality.
course,
Do you
of course.
think you have a solution in the squad itself? Because I've not really followed Liverpool season too much to make a comment on it. Like, are
Yeah,
there solutions? I mean, it hasn't worked this season for sure. I mean, because if there was a solution,
Yeah.
he would have been doing the job right now, taking over Salah's role. but it hasn't happened. But do you see the type of players that can do that in the current squad? With either with the reinforcements that they had gotten this summer, or someone in the squad that's already there, the youth system. Is there anyone?
Of course, there's a bunch of them. Rio Ngumoa is one of the players that can play on the right wing, but then you have Gakpo there, and sometimes Hugo Ekitike plays. Now the problem is Hugo Ekitike is injured and he's not going to be featuring for another 9 months, which means he's going to be back in like September or October. He's not playing the World Cup either. Isaac has not hit the levels that he has. That injury he had before the end of last season
Yeah,
has plagued him a lot. I don't think we're going to be seeing him hit his Newcastle levels until maybe 1 month, 2 months into the season. He has his World Cup as well, so he has to be careful on that front. Rio Ngoma, like I said, is very raw. Gakpo, I honestly like. He's been the only guy consistently putting in performances, but very underwhelming, I would say. Uh, he's been made scapegoat for a lot of things. I feel like he tries things, but just isn't still there. Um, and you have Chiesa, who might not even stay at Liverpool after this season. So those are the options that you have. Kind of need to either wait until Ekitike comes, and then you play a 4-4-2 with Hugo Ekitike and Isak leading the strike partnership. That's that's been tried, but it's not worked. Then you have the problem of, okay, if Rio does not get game time, he's going to be a bit more impatient, and then clubs will come knocking in. You see that with Max Dauman now. Max Dauman, yes, he's young, but like there already have been rumors of like, oh, in about
yeah.
two seasons, 3 seasons, like will he actually stay at Arsenal? Is he right for the Arteta project? Is he an Arteta type player? Like these are the questions that come around, especially like in a youngster's career. So the structure is going to be, I think for now it's going to be 4-3-3 with Isak leading the line up top, Rio and someone just here, man. They just need someone here, and they can get back to levels of like last season's level.
On
Um,
that on that
hmm?
point with like with what Abhishek said and what you said as well, I think Isaac was very much brought in as not really a Salah replacement, but someone who could like match that output, right, in terms of goals at least. And obviously he hasn't hit the heights that you expected him to, and neither has Wirtz. But if Slot can make the both of them work next season, I think that is potentially a way that because if Wirtz if Wirtz had like crazy output in Bundesliga, right? Like before he joined. So if he hits those stats, maybe even like 60-70% of those, and then Isak can hit like 90% of what he did at Newcastle, that's probably gonna match, like that'll cover up for what Salah could have done. So I think that's potentially a way. But I'll ask you this. What, as a Liverpool fan, I know it's a tough question, and I know you're probably going to say, okay, we need to win the league. But what's the realistic expectation from Slot as a Slot hater, or I don't know, not Slot hater, but a person, not a non-believer in Slot?
Not
What's the
an appreciator
expectation?
of this season.
Yeah, what's the expectation next season?
The expectation next season is literally PL win because you've been given this season. No, no. Listen, my justification is you've been given this season as sort of your off season and sort of like a thank you season for winning the Premier League. You have been in the job when Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, and Man City, like for a while, Man City were contemplating, oh, is Pep finished? Those three clubs changed their managers, and something happened. Like something for Spurs, Chelsea, maybe not, but like something happened to Man United, right? You've been given those seasons. You've been given 400 million plus to spend. You've been given time, and you've gone and messed this season up. Okay, you cannot do that the next season. You cannot do it in a club which relies on winning these competitions to stay up. We're not like Spurs because Spurs, even though they don't win, a lot of their revenue comes from player replacements or player sales and also stadium revenue. So their brand is huge, right? We're not a club like that. Liverpool is a club that has to win trophies, which is one of the reasons why it became so successful in I'm not joking. Like this is like literally concrete analysis on it.
Okay. I'm
It
laughing at
just
something else.
well yeah. So that is thing. You have to win Premier League because you have been given time. Okay, think of it like this, right? Arteta, if he didn't win Premier League this time, do you think he will be given time again and another one next season?
That's a really complex discussion. I think that's like a whole other episode. But I, let's not get into it. But I think
No,
that
yes or no? Yes or no? That's all I'm asking.
I think he would be given time.
Will be given time. Okay, cool.
I think so. I think so.
Okay,
No,
I
no,
mean,
I don't have to worry, bro. I'm going to say it here. Arsenal will win the league. Mark it on the GrandStand Podcast. They will win the league.
and now, oh gosh, and now TGS curse. Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
And
okay,
also the job. No, no, I don't want to say it 2 weeks ago.
okay,
But yeah, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Anyway, but no, that's the
okay.
expectation going
Fair.
into.
I mean, fair. As a
Eh,
Liverpool fan, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean they've done it once, can do it again.
Yeah.
And it'll be a nice send off for Allison and Van Dijk if Allison stays. So,
Okay.
the next topic we're going to be talking about the next topic, which is managerial changes. We've seen already Chelsea change rapidly during the season. They've gone from winning the Club World Cup to now fighting to even stay in the European hunt. They changed from Maresca, they changed to Liam Rossini, and somebody was there before, like in the middle of Maresca and Rossini. Who
Really?
is it? Yeah,
Maybe.
that's
So
who is
currently it's
that?
Callum McFarlane.
Callum,
Callum.
yeah, um,
Maybe.
exactly. uh,
Rosinia was
like
such a
yeah, but like
he,
Rossini before, yeah,
That was
Rossini
like,
was
he
weird,
was the
weird.
second coming,
such a
wasn't he?
weird.
I'm actually
Because
gonna do a Chelsea
He wasn't a
managers.
manager. He was an ager of men. He was aging.
that's
Oh no, Rossini,
That's what he said.
Rossini.
That was
Anyway, it was
so
Rosini. It was Rosini.
okay.
So Chelsea have had Spurs have had so much of changes, but now we're gonna be talking about Chelsea, Man City managers for next season. Here are the rumored list of managers, and there's some quite good ones on that. You have Xabi Alonso, you have Enzo Maresca, you have Iraola, the current, but no, wait, Iraola said he's going to Palace, so just remember that. So let's take him off. But you have Glasner, Oliver Glasner, who's taken Crystal Palace, with due respect, out of all teams,
Yeah,
to a European final, which is the UEFA Conference
yeah.
final. So you have them, and I did find one other interesting one,
Felipe
Felipe
Luis.
Luis for Chelsea. Felipe Luis to Chelsea, I feel like might happen because he was at Flamengo. He won the Copa Libertadores with Flamengo, and he was picked to become Chelsea manager, and that kind of derailed his season. He won 8-0 against a team in Brazil and got sacked. So those were
Yeah.
the rumors, and that's why he got sacked. So anyway, going back to it, for Chelsea in the first place, let's write the season off. Let's say they don't get into Europe. What are your expectations on like who's gonna go? Because now Xabi Alonso has been heavily linked.
Yeah.
You have Felipe Luis as well, and Glasner. I just feel those three are the options for them. Glasner, Premier League proven. Felipe Luis, interesting choice, and former Chelsea player as well. So he knows the club a bit more. And you have Xabi Alonso, brilliant manager.
I think Chelsea, honestly, is the one club that could go in any direction. Like with City, I think obviously there is a main candidate that City has in mind. I think which who we'll discuss. But with with Chelsea, it could go in any direction. I think, like you said, Alonso seems to be the most linked manager. But it doesn't seem like the right fit for Alonso, to be honest, with the whole management and Bowley, and I just don't know if he would want to, because obviously one of the reasons he left was, I think that he, if I'm correct, he had a falling out with like Perez
Mm-mm-mm.
at Madrid, and then he came to and that's why he left. So I don't know if you want to come to a similar kind of somewhat similar kind of structure at Chelsea. So honestly, I think Glasner could be a really interesting one for Chelsea, because the team itself is so like weird at Chelsea. They've got random players from random different managers. They've got Cole Palmer, who I think
Mm.
is a like very close to being a world class player, I think. And so they've got like a star player who is really naturally gifted and who can do a lot, but the rest of the team is really weird, I think. So maybe Glasner might be
Hey,
a little bit.
don't talk stuff about my man Enzo Fernandez. He's a World Cup winner.
I mean, yeah, they've got Enzo, but they've got a good team. I think Glasner would be an interesting pick, but with Chelsea, I think it could go in any direction, to be honest. Felipe Luis is also interesting. He knows the club. What do you think, Abhishek?
No, I think you nailed it. I think Chelsea are such a random club at this point. You
Yeah.
just don't know what's going to come from their side. Very hard to predict. I don't think there's a point in predicting. Alonso I think is a good pick if they do manage to get him for sure. What happened at Real Madrid? I think now people are getting the news little by little. I mean, good for me that he unfortunately couldn't succeed there being a Barca fan, but I think he's a top class manager. Not I think it's proven that he's a top class manager, and with the right team he can achieve really strong things. He did that with Leverkusen. It was very evident. I think Alonso would be a very interesting fit at Liverpool, if anything, because former club legend and all those things. If Slot
And
doesn't get
Wirtz,
the sack
and he knows how
immediately,
to handle Wirtz and Frimpong.
yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. Those are his guys, no, at Leverkusen. So yeah, I think
What's a
Alonso would be
Frimpa?
more fitting there. To be honest, I mean about the other two, I know about Glasner, but not followed him too much. But he does have that experience in the Premier League and stuff like that. Felipe Luis, just because people have gone down this route of former players becoming managers and has worked on occasion, maybe it's something they can try. But really, it's a guess because Chelsea are so random. Like you said, the way they go about in the transfer market is like oh, let's
Yeah,
just get anyone who's available. But yeah,
Yeah.
that there are issues there. Like fundamentally, unfortunately, I feel with the change of ownership and all those things that happened, a lot of things to put right. In the organization aspect of things before I think they can sort this out. But they might
yeah.
come back next season and do. I know they have the players as well. Like Shavin said, people like Palmer and Fernandez and all those guys. You never know if they find the right guy to unlock them. It could work, but anyone's guess. I think I would have much more input in the City thing, but yeah,
Yeah, because what is with Chelsea, like Shavin mentioned, the structure is much more different. Not
Yeah,
only the organizational structure, it's also the financial aspect of it as well.
yeah,
Because Chelsea are going through it right now financially as well. Uh, Todd Burley, the the owner of Clear Lake, uh, that that manages Chelsea, has a few issues on his hand which are financially like just massive. If they don't get European qualification this season, you could be looking at so much of losses just because they've invested so much of money into players who on another day you might not buy, like 50 million
yeah.
pound players. I think Garnacho went for like over 40 million, right?
Honestly, having this discussion, I think we need to get a Chelsea fan on the podcast, because I'm really confused with what's
honestly,
going on with that club. It's
I mean,
so
you see, we
confusing.
had this question also with United for a long time, right? Because United seemed to be
Yeah,
like that club as well, where like there's something wrong there, and you don't even know what it is. But
yeah,
at least under
exactly.
Carrick, they have found some kind of stability. There are doubts again because this similar sort of thing happened with Solskjaer. where they were not in a good place, with Mourinho in his third season. He got sacked. Solskjaer came in to kind of rescue the season, and he did more than that. They had that,
Bowley's cut off his
famous
internet
game
connection.
against PSG. Sorry, what?
What?
Shavin said something.
I said Bowley's cut off your internet connection.
But yeah, but at least under Carrick, there's some kind of stability. Doesn't mean that all the problems at United are fixed.
Yeah.
Far from it. But at least there's some kind of stability. Here
Yeah.
with Chelsea, it's been, I think, an ongoing case where there just doesn't seem to be any sort of idea. It's just happy-go-lucky kind of thing. Where they just go and see, oh, who's available. Just buy anyone you can. And there doesn't seem to be a plan behind any of these things. So there's a lot of things that they need to sort out in that
Yeah.
aspect, as well.
There's like talks about some $1 billion debt repayment as well. That they're going to be in debt for 1 billion pounds, not dollars. So they just need to sort out all those things. They need to sort out things on the pitch. Yeah, Chelsea just need to get rid of many players. They need to sort out their finances and hope for a better manager to come in. Moving on to another team in blue, that is Man City. I just realized this scroll has been saying who will replace Salah for the past ages. Just a thing as well. Just going to edit that. But while I do that, I just want to ask you guys, City, it seems like Pep is leaving. If he doesn't leave, okay, that's great. We don't need to really have this discussion. But there have been rumors that, Chelsea has gone, sorry, Pep has gone up in, sorry, not Pep has gone up, but rather Pep has admitted that he is going to be leaving Man City at the end of the season. Who is going to take the mantle of such a legendary manager who's just won it all with Manchester City, serial winner? The options are, of course, you have Xabi Alonso, but mostly and interestingly, you have Enzo Maresca.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Maresca is probably like the most heavily linked one, because obviously he's worked on the coaching stuff. But I think, to be honest, I've just realized I think we've missed someone out, and that's Vincent Kompany. Because I think Kompany obviously knows the club, a club legend. I think, I mean, City doesn't have a long history, so I would say a club legend. And I just had to, but I mean, no, I mean he's done a good job at Bayern as well. So he's potentially an option, but Maresca seems to be the most sort of linked manager, because he's worked on like Pep's coaching staff. I mean, I don't know if he really matches Pep's playing style. Would you all say he matches Pep's playing style, or I don't know? What do you all think?
Who is this, Maresca or Company?
Maresca, I think. Maresca.
Maresca. Maresca. All I know and all I'm just going to go on is with the facts. The fact is that he was at City. So he was at City like 2 seasons ago. So not many personnel has changed
Yeah.
In the City dressing room as well. But with Pep gone, he'll introduce his own personnel. But people around the club, the directors and everything, he has a good relationship with them, is what I've heard, before he went to Leicester, and then from Leicester to Chelsea, and then Chelsea to wherever he goes.
Yeah.
So then you have that. Second thing is he's one of Pep's students. So Pep, I mean, the fact that you are one of Pep's students, Arteta, Company, Cesc Fabregas as well, like to an extent, when he was at Barca. So like all those managers doing pretty well. That itself will give him the confidence to go to a place like Manchester City and continue Pep's legacy.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. So I think the clear favorite for this job is not even Xabi Alonso, despite the good manager that he is. It's going to be Enzo Maresca.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also what I would like to say is that what I think, okay, my opinion on the matter is like, okay, we talk about Pep's side of play, but even Pep has adapted, okay, to the leagues he's gone to and stuff like that. The way he played at Barcelona is not necessarily the way he was at Bayern. Maybe the core of it, yes, it's all about ball position and stuff like that, but he's adapted to, the demands of the league, whether it's the Bundesliga and their way of playing, or whether it's the Premier League and the high tempo, high pace, whatever, that you have to find there. So again, it's about adapting. And like you said, Maresca has the fundamentals working with Pep and being a part of his coaching staff. So yeah, I don't think if he goes there, it's not to become the next Pep. I think he just has to find his way of being successful. He walks into a team that is very strong. Pep has done a
Yeah,
good job
for
of
sure.
building a team for the future as well with the signings he's bought in and stuff like that. He has a
Yeah,
very strong squad to work with. Kind of like
yeah,
what Klopp did with, for Slot, with the Liverpool team he handed over to him.
yeah,
They have a very strong base to go off of. So
yeah,
Maresca doesn't have to worry about, is this what Pep would do? I mean, to some extent maybe, but he can bring his own, philosophies into the team. And like you said,
Yeah.
because he knows the team, the setup, the culture of the club. That would be very helpful in his favor. Actually, Company is actually a very interesting choice, I would say, because I don't know whether he wouldn't necessarily leave Bayern, I would say. I think the goal for him would be to win the
yeah,
Champions League, hopefully next season or
Yeah.
the season after, for his case. But let's
yeah.
say that doesn't, pan out the way he wants to. City is a very good option, I think. I think Pep will probably stay till next season, right? He's confirmed it, right? He's staying.
His
Yeah,
his
yeah,
till-
yeah,
contract his contract does run until next season.
Yeah,
But also, one thing I want to note about Maresca is that he is coming into a side which has a lot of changes coming in. You have
yeah,
Bernardo Silva leaving, you have Rodri potentially leaving, and you have John Stones leaving.
yeah,
And it's just going to be a different structure. So he has leeway to bring in the type of
yeah,
players he likes as well. He doesn't need to really stick, unlike Slot, who, he came into Liverpool, he didn't really buy anyone except for Chiesa, and that's how he built up his team last year. So you have that point as well for Enzo
I think that's a
Maresca.
fair point because those three players you mentioned, those are like three players in key positions.
Mm,
Three players that dictate the way City play.
yeah,
With their philosophy and stuff like that. So he can bring someone that he feels will do the job, but also someone who believes in his type of philosophy. So yeah, I think it's a fair point. I think he has that leeway, and of course, City have all the funds in the world, to reach out and
yeah. Exactly,
bring any player they need,
exactly.
regardless of whether they get found guilty for the charges
Yeah,
or not. But yeah, I mean, there's a reason why he has been linked, because I think people feel like he is a very good fit. Just coming back to the company, conversation. I think it would be interesting because he knows the culture and he brings a very exciting brand of football as well, which City fans also would like. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it would be a surprise if Maresca takes the job, Pep. And yeah, as I speak, I think something has happened in Clasico. Oh yeah, first goal. I'm not going to open my mouth because I don't want to jinx it.
yeah, you jinxed it. It's going to happen.
but I think, I mean,
Bro, I can't.
unlike, wait, who scored?
Jinxed it. Yeah, Marcus Rashford
Rashford
scored.
scored. United.
It's a good
Can we wrap this up? I have to go and watch the
it's a
Clasico.
good alert.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
Let's wrap
good.
it up.
It's good. Marcus Rashford has just scored. So
Okay.
anyway, that is that. We'll see whether our predictions have come true. Good luck to Arsenal, who's going to bottle the Champions League and the Premier. No, I think it's just Champions League
Okay.
this time. Anyway, we'll end the episode there, and no more
Okay.
discussions. Everything is going to come back to haunt us as well.
All right.
We'll see you in the next one.
And more consistent
Peace.
episodes.
What?
More consistent episodes to come.
More consistent episodes.
Yeah,
Yes,
we kind of
please.
say it. We kind of say it every year. More consistent episodes, but
Yeah,
definitely this year. No problem. No question.
Will happen.
yeah,
Next days are here. I mean, these days are here. Sorry.
Okay, okay.
Okay.
All right,
All
let's
the
wrap it up,
best, guys, and
guys.
take care. And all good luck with whatever you're doing. Cheers.
Merry Christmas.